And because you have a winner taste, 88.5 FM is your only station. When somebody tells you all FM stations are the same, they haven't been listening. 88.5 FM is totally different. That's why true music lovers make a big switch.
Connected. Yeah. Fellow Liberians, let me say this to you. On December 9th, 2024, do not be surprised when the number of your lawmakers are sanctioned by the United States for corruption, for pay to plea, for bribing members of the House to orchestrate a coup d'etat of the first branch of government. Some of you will take it for granted. Others would ignore that. This is exactly what we warned you all about. EDC folks were here. We told that since we're coming, the honor essay, they said we were lying. I'm going to myself. Do not surprise. Number 9th of this year, the word for International Adoption Day, December 9th. When you see of lawmakers engaged in calling of the speaker, when you see their names, do not be surprised. Say you heard it from me. I also want to say something to you. I am told that a cross-section of Liberians are organizing to protest, to demand that the lawmakers return to work, go to session.
We've been on this journey together for a long, long time. And I wanted to thank you for the phone call. And I just wanted to ask you again, why did you want me to come over here when you...
Well, you've been a good friend of Liberia, and I don't see it just as a duty. I see it as a concern for a country that you have interest in, and you pursue that, and we believe your concerns are genuine, and so we've opened the door for us to work together. That's why we call you.
Well, Mr. President, I can't tell you how many people worldwide, when they read your speech and you talked about having an office of the War Crimes and Economic Crime Court to facilitate the creation of this tribunal, international tribunal here in Liberia to bring the justice to the people. I heard it from the U.S. My phone blew up, as you can imagine. People said I could not believe, and they were so ecstatic and elated. And since I've been here, I've heard the same thing. So I wanted to thank you again and give you full assurances that we will do everything we can to help you bring justice for the victims of those 250,000 people that were killed during the 2 civil wars that happened.
Well, Alan, the
issue of war and economic crime, we must take up the mantle, listen to our people, and finally come to one resolution on that question. We will be meeting with you, Mr. President, and we will be asking for your indulgence as we work with you to carve a meaningful agenda for this country. Again, I'm humbled. Again, I'm overwhelmed. And to the extent today I've said anything to make anyone uncomfortable, create fears, or revive someone's insecurities, that was not my true intention. I spoke from my heart, I spoke from my head, and not from my heart. I wish that you would, my fellow colleagues, give me the opportunity as we work towards building an agenda to show our children and our fellow citizens how futures are built.
Because of the speaker budget, everybody wants to become speaker. Because of the deputy speaker budget, everybody wants to become deputy speaker. And let me say to the man I'm supporting, If you support Rachel Kuhn as your as your deputy speaker, Rachel Kuhn will not get my support. Rachel Kuhn is a financial expert. He sat in that place. All the budget and all that, when we were talking, where a king, everybody sat down there because we need to chop. Oh, that because of the budget. So people want to become 2017, right after the election, 1 month after the election, Unity Party sold themselves to just for the deputy speaker position. You see CDC today standing up. CDC is a party. Unity Party were not a party at that time. Maybe they'll be party now, but wait to see. They sold themselves because they wanted to be deputy speaker, because they wanted to be on committee to bring hardship on the Liberian people. In my mind, I see the same thing coming back. If you put Thomas Fala here, Thomas Fala is a senior criminal, you put in here, and you put Rachel Kuhn here. Rachel Kuhn is no different from Thomas Fala. I will vote for Thomas Fala. If Rachel Kuhn knew he was a Unity Party man and knew that he fought to be an opposition man, he was not supposed to be in the black of Fonati Kofa. He was in CDC black. Enjoying that today you want to be opposition. You don't have my support. Musa Belete has my support, and I gave him my support. Sometimes I listen to Spoon, I see frustrated people that George we are sacked because they stole from the government. I see them trying to criticize George. Who are you to criticize George when you help George to fail? Who are you to criticize George when you help George to fail? I see my mother, the mama will call you. You are working in the government and sacking you want to talk. Later you are not working, you are supposed to talk. I see Judy Falcon that were here justifying why my babies, why the children passport, the children program should be disrupted. He was justifying it because you stole job we are sacking, so you want to be paid. Nobody take you serious though. Nobody take you serious. I see people, I think one mama also on the show too. I see them. They all were working government today, they take no credits. You people are not serious people. You people are embarrassment to the country. You people are criminals and just sit on that platform and want to denigrate people. Who are you to say Musa Belete la role? Who are you to say Fonati Kopo la role? When you say stole the sack you, now you want to talk. We can talk because they not give money from job here. When I talk people listen to me, they're not using Falcon that frustrated from water spoon all frustrated. Maybe you want a serious link with George Weah and George Weah, they're not giving the opportunity. That's why he's behaving the way he's behaving. He's still on radio, Musa Belete la role, Fonati Kopo la role. Look, let me tell you something today. I do not need nobody to make me who I am. The Liberian people will make one time. I do not need nobody. I don't need your on that platform. Don't discuss me. Why you want to discuss me?
Timadoma is my cousin. I was born in Nimakante.
You got birth certificate?
I come in now. Revin, take time. Revin, you divorce your wife 2 times. You divorce a 2-wife woman.
You say you done lie? I only been married twice. I was divorced twice. You know jack about me. You don't want to say you would divorce your wife and she vote for CDC. Don't play with me. You don't know jack about me. You don't know me.
Timadoma is my cousin. I was born in Nimakante.
You got birth certificate?
I come in now. Revin, take time. Revin, you divorce your wife 2 times. You divorce a 2-wife woman.
You say you done lie? I only been married twice. I was divorced twice. You know jack about me. You don't want to say you would divorce your wife and she vote for CDC. Don't play with me. You don't know jack about me. You don't know me.
Timadoma is my cousin. I was born in Nimakante.
You got birth certificate?
I come in now. Revin, take time. Revin, you divorce your wife 2 times. You divorce a 2-wife woman.
You say you done lie? I only been married twice. I was divorced twice. You know jack about me. You don't want to say you would divorce your wife and she vote for CDC. Don't play with me. You don't know jack about me. You don't know me.
It is Monday, the 4th day of November 2024. And it is Real Talk on Kings 88.5 with me, Sam Andrews, on this 4th day. And just so you know, we are transmitting from Front Street, adjacent the Liberian Water and Sewer Corporation. We've got the issues to talk about. Thank you so very kindly that you join us. We are in the United States of America. And then back from the United States, we look at the mystery events unfolding in Liberia. This country that is going haywire under the Joseph Yumabwaka administration. So let me say again, thank you so very much, man, that you join us. Let's have a wonderful time together. Let's begin with the acknowledgement as usual. Let's see those of you who have come on. Thank you so much. Ansu Coleman, you've come on from the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia headquarters. Shelton Dogway, Dorgbay, you've come on from India. Good to have you on and good to have the show in India. DRT Togba, you're following from Omega Market, CDC Project, you said. Fatu Kone, you are following from Kakata, Magibi County. Solo Wat Corsia, you're following as usual from your comfort zone. New Georgia Estate, you said. And how was your weekend, you asked? Yes, the weekend was great. It was great. We thank God Almighty for keeping watch over us throughout and has allowed us to come by His grace and mercy to serve the people of Liberia. It was also wonderful because my chairman we joined our chairman to celebrate his little daughter, Liberian Yasa Raputo Pound on the weekend. That was great. Solowat Kosia, thank you for asking. Abdullah, and I hope you had a wonderful weekend too. Abdullah Dolin, you've come on from Zozo City, Lofa County. Mary Tule, you're following from New Georgia Estate. Thanks for the great job you said. Thanks for coming on too. We are inspired by your presence. Nangara Blamo Tian, you're following from Caldwell Benson Street. Stephen S. Sewala from Magibi County. Simeon Taklan, you didn't say, but you said thanks, Sam. Thanks to you for coming on. Jackson C. Poning of Iron Factory Block Titan, you've come on. Good to have you on. Hope that you had a wonderful time over the weekend. Emmanuel Richardson, you're following from Caldwell. Yasser Sharif, you didn't say where you're following from, but it's good to have you on. Lasana Elbility, you've come on from Batnersville Estate. Cornelia Stay, you are following from your NU said, good. Josiah Collins Elliott from Johnsonville Township. Mount Barclay. Cecilia Masseque from Norway. James, that's Mark James from, you didn't say, my dear Southeastern sister Dwight. Thank you for coming on. You are watching from Minnesota, the United States of America. I hope that you reconsider your decision not to engage from Liberian politics. Sylvia Santia, you've come on. You didn't say. Sakamoto Sie, good afternoon, Chief, you said. Murphy Heenan. Yes, we're coming to the lawmaker. Hold on. And Ellington Gay from Johnsonville, Monserrado County. Pampa Masseque, you're following from Painesville. Okay, and the list, the names are just coming and coming and coming. Thank you all so very much for coming on the show. We appreciate. We've got a couple of things to talk about. Know where we can start, but the decisive place where it's going to be a close to call, if not head to head. The battle is on. Voting has already started. It's going to be a battle between VP Kamala Harris and radical Donald Trump. Decisive day for the United States of America. Very decisive. This is how it's going to be. There in America, the Electoral College is the group, and that group of presidential electors is formed every 4 years during the presidential election. For what? The sole purpose, as they would say, yeah, for the sole purpose. That sole purpose expression you often hear where the love of money is, the House of Representatives. So let me use it here. For the sole purpose of voting for the president and vice president. The process is described in their law in Article 2 of their Constitution. The number of electoral votes exercised by each state, just so you know, is equal to that state's congressional delegation, which is the number of senators plus the number of representatives for that state. Each state appoints electors using legal procedures determined by its legislature. Federal office holders, including senators and representatives, cannot be elected. Additionally, the 23rd Amendment granted the Federal District of Columbia 3 electors, bringing the total number from 535 to 538. A simple majority of electoral votes, which is 270 or more, is required to elect the president and vice president. If no candidate achieves a majority, then here's what's going to happen. A contingent election is held by the House of Representatives to elect the president and by the Senate to elect the vice president. The states and the District of Columbia hold a statewide or district-wide popular vote on election day in this time or this month called November to choose electors based upon how they have pledged to vote for the president and vice president, with some state laws prohibiting faithless electors. All states except mine and Nebraska use a party block voting and a general ticket mentor to choose their electors. What that means is all their electors go to one winning ticket. Maine and Nebraska choose one elector per congressional district and 2 electors for the ticket with the highest nationwide vote. The electors meet and vote in December, and the inauguration of the president and vice president takes place in January. Just an excerpt of the decisive moment that is going to take place on tomorrow, the 5th of November, between Vice President Kamala Harris and radical Donald Trump. Which way it goes, it's up to the Americans, by the Americans, for the Americans. And we will congratulate whoever is announced winner of that election. But I will be excited hearing Kamala Harris, whom I have always wanted and still want to be president. But if she can and it goes Donald Trump will, wait, then that's it. But my observation of the American culture is they're not ready. I'm not convinced that they are ready for a female president. I'm not convinced because they've tried, the women try, a couple of them try. They did magnificent job in both the political and campaign period to ascend, but the culture just didn't favor them. And no, not a single female. I do not know, maybe it happened in their history, but I've never heard it before. All of the history books we have read and still reading on America, we've not heard of a former female president of the United States since their founding. Well, you can prove me wrong if you got that record, and it will be good for me. At least I can use that somewhere too as a reliant or backing. But as far as my knowledge can serve me, I have not heard, neither read anything of a former female president of the United States. If the American culture has been so adamant of a female becoming president, then their stance on other countries is just imposition by their power. And take, for example, in our country, they will force us, they will tell political parties, you get women on the ticket, you elect women, you do this. They bring their people, they're having workshops with political party, stakeholders, stand-up bearers. They're saying all of those things. But ironically, you don't see it in the very American culture. They have never, ever, at least we in Africa and Liberia, have elected a female president, and other African countries around the world have female presidents. So I hope Kamala Harris, vice president, can break that male dominance like former President Sirleaf did in Liberia. Former President Sirleaf broke the male dominance in our political and presidential culture. I hope Kamala Harris can do that. If that happens, I will be excited, and it will be an unprecedented record set by her. The decisive moment is tomorrow. So we'll follow as it unfolds. Let's get to other issues we've got to talk about, then we get out. I can subordinate this for another. We'll talk about the suspension of those guys, the dismissal of A.B. Krumah, but in order of importance as it is in broadcast, we can subordinate what unfolded from the Supreme Court for suspension and dismissal. By comparison, what unfolded today at the Supreme Court or from the Supreme Court is stronger than the dismissal. So we get to the dismissal of that man called A.B. Krumah and others. The Supreme Court ruled, and last week I preempted what was going to happen. And it came that way. My prophecy was that the Supreme Court will do nothing extra in saying this person wrong and this person right, but rather that the two factions will be sent back to do the needful, giving due diligence to the accused, which would then fall in line with the law, then allowing the atmosphere to be, the Supreme Court did what I preempted. You can look at a situation and know that this is what's going to come out. You don't have to go in the sky or pass through the skies to go to God and ask him. You know, because the indicators just explain that. They send them back. Now, they will have to go back and they consented. Who are they going to sit under? The man whom they considered compromised, Fonati Kofa. The man whom they considered Pharaoh. The man whom they branded the evil one, the corrupt one, and on we can go. The one whom they consider undesirable, contaminated. They are going to sit under that man's authority. So the Supreme Court ruling is, go back to status quo ante. What you guys were doing was outside the law. Hence, you have to now go and act within the ambit of the law. No option, no choice, no preference. If there's any preference, it's the preference to do as the Supreme Court said. So they move in to sit on a Fonati. And to give due process. Due process simply means giving the person the right to explain his side. Due process simply means respecting the right of a person. Due process does not say you are wrong, you who brought the accusation. Due process does not say that your accusation is going to be nullified. Due process only means respecting the rights of everybody as per the claim. So, Fonati Kofa has the right to explain. The other people has the right to explain. So it's a case right there for resolution. So that's going to happen. And two things I want to talk about here in this, then we move to something else. The rest of it will be exhaustively this evening on Face the Issues, if AB will choose to talk about it. Two things here. One, due process. Who is going to preside? That's a due process. It is a hearing. A hearing, let's put it simply. It is a hearing. So who is going to preside? Somebody must preside over the hearing. Somebody should serve as the mediator to that hearing. Who is going to preside over it? Why did I ask the question? Because the deputy, the speaker can be the referee and player at the same time. The speaker is accused. Therefore, he has to recuse himself. That means he cannot sit as presiding officer. He has to recuse himself because he has to make his case of retaining his position by countering all of the claims brought against him by his colleagues. So he cannot be a defendant and a referee at the same time. Neither can the deputy speaker, Thomas Fowler, who is compromised, tainted, preside over such a hearing when he admitted in his response that the allegations brought against the speakers are all true. So he cannot preside over the speaker's hearing in a due process when he had already adjudged the speaker guilty. Let me say this. If you guys sit over there and allow Thomas Fowler to preside, then you people, I don't know how you guys will see yourself. I don't want to use any description, but I think you guys are responsible men and women, reputable enough, educated. You will not sit there and allow it, because you'll be stabbing yourselves in the back. Thomas Fowler said that Fonati Kofa, the claim his colleagues brought against Fonati Kofa are all true. Not only did he say that, but he went further to say those claims brought the House of Representatives into disrepute. That means it reduced the morale, the essence, the character of the House of Representatives. In essence, the claims brought against the speaker dirty the character of the clean House of Representatives. Hence, he's guilty. You go back and look at Deputy Speaker Thomas Fowler's position. So he cannot be the presiding officer. He cannot be the one presiding over that due process or that hearing, because he's already compromised and he had already adjudged the speaker guilty. He found the speaker guilty before hearing. So he can be the one to preside over that. Let us not reduce ourselves to something else again that the outsiders will laugh at us. The speaker cannot preside over his own hearing. Neither the Deputy Speaker Thomas Fowler preside over when he's compromised. He said the speaker was guilty. His claim his colleagues brought against the speaker were all true. Therefore, the two of them cannot. So, how is it going to be? Well, I do not know the rules. I'm not in the rules. I do not know. I'm just saying it from my own perspective. My perspective doesn't say that they are the rules of the House of Representatives. It's my opinion, literally, that anyone would put on. The speaker cannot, under any circumstance, preside, though the Supreme Court say, you go back, assemble in one room called the chambers of the House of Representatives, and the speaker, who is the legitimate speaker, presides, and you can pick it up from there. Anything to the contrary, then that's it. So Fonati Kofa can be the one to preside over his own hearing. The Deputy Speaker can be the one to preside. Two different factions, two different groups of people at war, warring against each other. So the commander on the other side, presiding over both bodies, will give himself preference and will twist everything in his favor. So it is with the other men on the other side. As much as I do not know the rules of the House of Representatives, this is simply illiterate stuff. The speaker cannot preside, the deputy speaker cannot preside. A neutral person will sit there. I know some people, yes, it happened. The Kabina Jane situation, I think we had a neutral person presiding there. That is an opinion. In law, that's what they call opinion. You can use one to justify the present condition or to speak against it, what it shouldn't and why it should be. I'm not too exact, but I think I'm trying to pick up imaginatively that hearing because we were there when it was going on. So if I can remember readily, please do not count it against me, but you can help me out. I think one of the justices that presided. Though the two scenarios are not the same, but a neutral person went in because there were two different factions at war legally. So in that situation, you will need a neutral person. So we want to see how it will be if they start tomorrow. Secondly, the second thing, there is this serious claim against members or those guys who are fronting for the removal of the speaker. The allegation is strong. It may not have substance in terms of truth, but it's worth listening to. Just as we all want to hear the speaker's defense. So what they will have to look at that. The two things will play in everything. The speaker legal team might bring that up. They might use it. It is a political weapon. Beyond here, we'll start to look at the factors that will play or interplay in that hearing of the two groups. The speaker people might capitalize on that. But it is a grave allegation for those guys. And it is forbidden in their rules. The country's Anti-Corruption Commission, LACC, will aid in that investigation or the defense of the speaker, because their reputation is at stake too. As much as they complain against the speaker of conflict of interest and increasing budget and all those kinds of stuff, they consider grave. The claim of financial inducement or receiving money is grave. It's equally grave. The two of them are on the same plane. Hence, it will play a major role in that hearing. Whether it will play in favor of the speaker and against the 43, I do not know. But what I do know is it will be a major concern in that hearing. Those are the two. So what the 43 should have done before is what the Supreme Court told them to do. The Supreme Court did beat sense into 43 men and women heads. In essence, the Supreme Court simply said, you guys claim to be educated. You guys claim to brag and rant about law in the House of Representatives. But a simple thing that you can do, give the man due process before. Had you done that, then he wouldn't have come to us for redress. So you go back now, you go, let put sense in your head. The Supreme Court beat sense in their heads. 43 persons running all around the place, ranting, boasting, screaming, acting like they were making progress when they were making no progress. What they did not want to do, that they needed to have done, and they refused to do it, not that they were not aware, but they wanted to take shortcut to remove the speaker. They were playing mind game. Didn't I tell you people about the mind game? You saw and you heard what the Supreme Court did? Who told you that they did not know? But they were doing all of this to build up all these shenanigans to play on Fanatic Kofa, that if he is a weakling, then he will resign. That is the reason behind all of that. Let's pressure this other person to come. Let's intimidate the person. Let's say this. So Fanatic Kofa now will look at it and say, okay, Given a situation like this, we don't want to hold the country hostage. We don't want to do this. In the interest of reconciliation, I'm resigning. And thank God he made it clear that he's not resigning. He reiterated his stance that he will not resign. And he listened to us. He listened to us. We told him. And I maintain my position. Consider me unprofessional, unethical if I use those expressions, but I will not lie. I will not pretend. It is not my normal style of broadcast, but I use that expression and I will still use it because the procedure those guys were using or the path they were treading to remove Fonati Kofa was wrong. Nobody is defending Fonati Kofa in this thing. Fonati Kofa, we don't know him of his personal life, and we got no time about his personal life. We talk about Fonati Kofa's professional life. And if you want to remove him, you have to remove him in line with the law. Everybody that is in full defense of Fonati Kofa, not necessarily that he is the holiest, cleanest of men on earth, the only person, but the way the guys tried to do it was a complete, it was a mercenary stealing with a mind game to corner him, coerce him, brainwash him, hypnotize him, and get him out. And then they move in. But because the man is clever, the man is educated, and not only educated, but highly educated, holds a master's degree in law and a doctorate degree in law, not intimidated by what they were doing, not timid in any given circumstance, but rather allow reason to prevail, political reason and legal reasoning, by seeking redress with the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, Fonati Kofa, you are thinking. The rest of the guys who are against you, they're not thinking right. Therefore, y'all go back, let all of them assemble and sit under you. And y'all can make a determination. If in accordance with the law, they move you as per the normal require, fine. If it goes the other way around and they decide to stay and work for and in the interest of the people, fine. So let me say, because Fonati Kofa reaffirmed, he restated his position. I have always said, and I will maintain, consider me unethical on this, I will accept it. Consider me unprofessional on this, I will accept it. Because I will not say something today, then tomorrow change it. I've said it, this has been my position, that if Fonati Kofa resigns, he will be the stupidest, the dullest of a lawyer and person in this country. The last thing he will ever want to do is to resign. And I maintain further that Fonati Kofa will stay on as long as this thing drags. It is good for our democracy. Whoever feels the pinch and can withstand it, they will press for reconciliation. That's what I said, and I remain. These are the words that I use. So, yeah, what he said, he reiterated his stance. He said, J. Fonati Kofa, I do solemnly say that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. This is the oath we took on January 15, 2024. And this is the oath for which we live our political career for. And if need be, we are prepared for political death. So the guys will have to go. The speaker reiterated his stance. Finish. Supreme Court beat sense in those people's head. And yet the other feature of the Fonatikofa stuff. It seems the center is no longer holding. We do not have politicians in this country, people. We just have loud noise makers, money eaters, gullibles, subservient characters that make noise all over the place. You know who? One of the characteristics of a politician, when he says something, he means it. He never breaks his word on it. The camp is cracking, dissolving. The bragging and boasting they had all over the place. For the three, we have a majority block. The majority block is turning into minority block. 4 persons made a resolved resolution to break away from the majority block. They made a promise. I cannot tell you that this is what, or these are the 4. We are aware of promise. And promise is a vow. Let me tell you people, promise is a vow. Promise is a vow. Promise is a resolution. Promise is what people hold you by. And you don't want to make a promise and go back on it. When you make a promise and you can't fulfill it, it damages your reputation, your character. So those 4 people, they made a promise to break away from the majority block to move to Fonatikofa. The one I can confirm that she came up publicly to confirm that she cannot go against Fonatikofa, Priscilla Cooper, Representative Priscilla Cooper, a very sound lady, very sound, very intelligent. She said that she's going back home. She prefers to be with Pharaoh than to be with 43 angels in disguise. So she said she going back into Egypt to be with Pharaoh. And the pastor said, Fonatikofa Pharaoh. Fonatikofa was holding the people hostage. So he said, Pharaoh, let my people go. And when everything is over, I hope Fonatikofa can look in that pastor's face and say, man of God, you said what you said based on the prevailing situation then. I hold nothing against you. You did what you felt was right to protect whatever the image as per your side. You are the chaplain of the House of Representatives. We maintain you as the House of Representatives. If Fonatikofa, I hope he does, look in the face of that pastor and tell him, look, I tell you, that pastor, not only will it break that pastor down, but he will never have the face to be in that Senate. That pastor, you hear that he resigned. And that's what God said. That's what he said. Matthew 5:44. Bless them that curse you. Pray for them that despitefully use you. Do good to them that render you evil. The pastor rendered Fonatikofa evil. He referred to Fonatikofa in a derisive manner that he is Pharaoh. When Fonatikofa is not a Pharaoh, as much as he would try, he wanted to be descriptive. But it is not how you become descriptive in such a situation. So when everything is over, Fonatikofa, I beg you, speak up. Do nothing to him, say nothing to him that will break him down. Just tell him, just as Jesus said we should forgive, so have I forgiven you. You've done nothing against us. You've done nothing against the House of Representatives. You were preaching as per your role as pastor. Whether you needed to be the pacifying one, the melting pot, and you opted not to, but we hold nothing against you. If Fonatikofa can do that, and I hope he does it, that pastor will not have the face to be in that Senate, that House of Representatives, rather. So LRJ now, we know whether it's still going to LRJ. Let's talk about the protest, which is in connection to that, and then we'll move on to something else. The guys announced they are protesting. The protest takes place on tomorrow. And this is my personal position. This is not institutional position. This is not King's FM position. This is my personal position that I, Sam Andrews, is in support of that. I have said that we should know where and when to direct our protest. We just wake up in the morning when we feel dissatisfied with certain things, then we hold placards and say we're protesting. This is the right time and the right place to protest, to vent out your anger. The only thing, let it not result into violence. Let it not result into anything chaotic. Let it be non-violent, peaceful march on the Capitol with a position statement to be said or read to the authorities there. It is democratic, it is constitutional, it is culture. I support that protest, that march on tomorrow. I support that march. It is a march. It's not a protest. But it is the same. March is the same as protest. But because when the people hear protest, then they can change their mind. Their psychology can change. They start worrying. So we will use a simple idea to say march. But it is the same protest. Protest means to state your position, whether for or against. So I support that march, and I appeal to the organizers to do everything within their power of reason and ability to keep the atmosphere under control, to guard against infiltration and mercenarism so that it doesn't degenerate into something else that the government will capitalize on. Because I know and I maintain Boakai is behind the whole thing of Speaker Kofa's removal. He has never been comfortable with Speaker Kofa. He wanted from the first day Speaker Kofa out of that place. And everything these guys are doing, they are doing it because they were programmed. They're not doing it because they have a legitimate claim against the speaker. They are trying the best they can to justify. So we support that march. This is my personal position. This is Sam Andrews' position. This is not institutional position or institutional support. It's not King's FM support or position. It's my personal position that I support that march on tomorrow. That it be safer, non-violent, peaceful. The organizers guide against any infiltration, present their statement against what they see as wrong. The allegation of bribe, the lawmakers, first branch of government, taking bribe. I support that very well. I mean, in support of it. What it shows that truly money was taken, but the investigation will convince us. Another thing that you can pick up from this, if people are defecting from the majority bloc for whatever the reason, and some of these people who are defecting announced consciously that they receive 15,000. One of the persons who said she received 15,000 until lately she got to know that the 15,000 was to move the speaker, but she decided not to be a part of the plan because the procedure by which they were moving the speaker, or her colleagues were trying to move the speaker, was wrong. That's the one who announced today that she going back to Pharaoh. She going back home, Priscilla Cooper. So what we can pick up from this is that truly it shows that they received money. All those confessions that came out, they were not coerced, they were not cornered, they were not hypnotized, they were not brainwashed, they were not bewitched to confess, to say it. They are big men and women, conscious men and women, above 18, far above 18. They knew that they saw money. They knew their colleagues told them about money. And their colleagues told them about the plan or the purpose of the money. And they receive it. I want to believe it is one of the reasons they are defecting, going back to save their image. And that's why I said that money allegation will play a big role, not only with the LACC that is investigating independently, but when the defense or hearing of Fonati Kofa starts. Because there's claim and counterclaim. The speaker lawyers will capitalize on that. When they look at all of, in law, they can say, induce or I don't know how they can say, induce all of the facts. So that the camp is breaking. The majority bloc is breaking. Things falling apart. It's not looking rosy for the majority bloc. Something is happening. The atmosphere might be different tomorrow. If that protest goes on, they might not have session. And I hope, I say again, that the protest will not be disruptive. If it is peaceful, and then they move from there in time, and those guys get into their session, it will be something else. I see that flow having peace. I see that flow having peace. Yeah, it's why. You have to pay attention with me small. In less than a minute, I explain this, and then we'll come to your Fonati Kofa block is emotionally charged. The deputy speaker block is emotionally charged. Assembling in that John Chambers to begin the process of removing the speaker. I'm not wishing for it, I hope it doesn't happen, but you can tell how fluid the atmosphere will be. It will not be a surprise to me if fighting erupts in that place tomorrow, because the two camps are vexed. It will take God, and I hope that all of you pray honestly to God before leaving your houses to go to that legislature tomorrow. Ask God to help you to restrain your anger, because anger will be waiting as soon as you get on a compound. Whether for Fonati Kofa block, Deputy Speaker Fala block, as soon as you hit that compound, anger will hit you. So you pray hard, so you will restrain yourselves. If you just go in your carnality, forget it. I see fighting in that hall tomorrow. I hope it doesn't happen. But with the atmosphere fluid, fragile, and emotions are running high with the two groups at war, if going in perform miracle over there to keep that atmosphere peaceful, I see people fighting. Because in less than 5 minutes, you hear insults. You hear the two groups trading insults at each other. And the speaker already have radical men on his side. Y'all know the speaker men. You got radical men on his side who not ready to, they're not waiting to settle for nothing. They ain't ready to be diplomatic. You can call about a friend Foko. Musability by he labor solve, he can appeal to the conscience of people. But at times he gets radical. And there are other names over there. So that will be doing it for that. Let's go to you now. Then we move to something else. And then we get out on the show. Real Talk on Kings 88.5 with me and Sam Andrews on this tour, 4th day of November 2024. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97. The female line 0777 98 03 75. And you are on the show Real Talk on Kings FM 88.5 with me, Sam Andrews. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, Sam Andrews. The news about political structure in the end of it. And I call you this afternoon from the headquarters of the Medical Government Democratic Change Convention. And then, Andrew, let me appreciate you for that analysis. But you know, nobody is politics, nobody about the gathering, it's mass gathering of the masses people against those powerful reactionary elements. The speaker was democratically elected, and the speaker should be democratically removed. When some point of reactionary elements to organize a coup d'etat to remove the speaker, because only nature and those people that behind the removal of the speaker. We have an intelligence that the president has said the president is the one who wants to remove the speaker because from the beginning of the speakership, he now been having interest in this or it because he said that his guest on him, he feel on each working with the speaker because of those issues as the alteration of the budget, as a real those criminal yellow machine that they want to bring.
Thank you, sir. Let's move to the next person. Hello.
Hey. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Yeah, fine. You want to go straight to the point? Too many people on.
Welcome back. This is Edmond. You know, the vision impaired guy that keep on asking to the fair. Look, I agree with you. That march is very much necessary. The year is why it's necessary. If we are here and we didn't stand up to these to those guys, you know how the international community or other foreign partners will look at us? They will look at us as a fool in this country. Because to see suffering in this country, and you see the old lawmaker are sitting down pushing resources in your very eye. In the hotel, they're making them a citizen, just applying it and look at them to proceed on their own. They are going to be a disgrace. So we support it on the basis of that, and we pray that it will be peaceful tomorrow. Now the next is a proposal couple. Thank God now that she is clear. And here on district, and I said that the last time when the yellow machine didn't clear about, she was one of the persons for the Unity Party that stood up and spoke well. So this time around, she is going back to Pharaoh, to Egypt, to be with Pharaoh. It is better to go back to Egypt and be with Pharaoh, to be on the side of the law and do the Liberian work. So 2029, if you have an intent, that's why I am a bomb. Bona fide citizen, I'm going to be voting for her. Because she is standing for the Liberian people or say, so we will be there for her. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97 0777 98 03 75, and you are on the show. Hello.
Yeah, Sam Andrew, thank you for the program. I'm D. Trevor calling from District 17. Yeah, I strongly believe that God answers prayer. I listened to you clearly this afternoon, and when you spoke, mainly on the pastor who made the kind of a statement again for Nati. But what I did last night, by the grace of God, I told God if the removal of fanatic cover is by the law, or which they are doing according to them, then let a decision be. But if it is not, then step into it that they would not do it. And I thank God that the Supreme Court has spoken. I hope that the guys on the opposite side will concur with the Supreme Court to do the right thing.
Okay,
I think that's what we should be doing as Liberian than to be calling people names. Thank you guys for the program.
Thank you. Have a nice Monday. Hello. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello. 0772 2399 33 0886 673 922. The female line you're on, but you're not speaking. You're not speaking. You're on. Just got you on. Hello.
Yeah, hello. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I tell Papa God, thank you for the good news I heard. I tell Papa God, thank you. Because prayer is the key to everything. That today, I heard from the Pharaoh, that pastor, that good pastor. But God has put him to shame. God has put him to shame at his place. But the Pharaoh, you think, Pharaoh is going to go back. And he will not be Pharaoh. He will be Jesus that will be sitting down there. So we all pray that nothing will happen tomorrow. We got big prayer. We stay praying in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon, Sam.
Your name?
Thank you. This is Hussein. I'm Hussein Teo, and I call you from Jacobstown in District 2. I listened to your talking point. Let me appreciate you for the talking point. You know, in relation to the petition or protest, whatever the case is, like I said on one of your sister programs, it is a good thing to petition government. But mind you, the same right you got, another person has that same right. I just want to appeal to the head, right, of the plain protest or whatever petition it is, to do the needful. That is, it should be peaceful, it should be void of political sentiments, and people should do it, you know, that would benefit ordinary people. Because, mind you, in more instances, those guys who had these kind of protests, they will also want to gain popularity at the expense of the ordinary people. And that would be a very bad one. Because, mind you, tomorrow people from different districts will be going there. Oma will leave her water selling, or color selling.
You giving, Hussein, you giving advice, eh? And that's advice you giving?
Of course, right?
Yeah. We can control the atmosphere. We don't know what the future holds, but God is in control. Nothing to the contrary going to happen. It will be peaceful. It will be peaceful. And everybody will move back to their respective places in peace. It's not. They're just going to assemble and state their position.
The way you're saying it will not look like that, right?
No, it won't be that way. You are trying to portray wishful thinking. Chief, it will not be that way. No, I know
don't get me wrong.
Yeah, my man. Chief, I know from whence you're speaking, man.
No, Chief, don't get me wrong.
I say I know from whence you're speaking.
I think.
But no, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm controlling you. You're not controlling me. I'm controlling you. Listen, you said that you called to give a piece of advice. And now you have stated the piece of advice. So everything will be okay tomorrow. God first, human ability second. Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. 0772 23 99 33. Hello. Hello. I mean, this is a female line. Well, you're calling on women line. You're woman line or women? Chief. Hello?
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 Chief. All right. So you don't call zero. Men can call 07779800375. That woman line. So the team can talk that true English can give people a hard time. When you hear the person say female line, 07779800375 mean a woman line. Men can call on it. Hey, man. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, I'm Joseph.
Chief. Same thing with saying you're still doing it, team, man. Oh, come on. That's been dull. You hear the numbers, it say woman line only for woman. Yeah, you can call Call, if you can call 0777, call the same 0722 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97 0777 9803. That are women in line, that a woman in line. You're not woman. Don't call that line. That's simple English. When you say that and they get a simple test, you'll be doing different thing. Then when you say the poor failure. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you call from?
Yeah, I'm Evan Davis, calling from Comede at FDA.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, we want the list of all of those people that follow our constitution, calling them 44 men. We want the list of them to be published so that they can be punished in the constituents come 2029. That's all we want. But I can promise you, none of them will go back. None of them will go back.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Hello.
Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah.
Thank you, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And you?
Yeah, I'm very fantastic. William W. Wu, official spokesperson for the Liberian Civil movement. We are in the interest of Liberian people. Nobody violate, nobody right. Nobody go against the constitution. If you go against the constitution, you meet us. Because this is what people who are voted in power, and the same thing will be done to them. But a man pass the rebel attitude, do that thing want to take them from power. So we stand with the law. Let me say thank you ever so much for the show. Thank you ever so much, my brother. I'm following.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So D. Maxwell Kimaya has taken over the movement for economic empowerment again. The party by up and down. Because we don't build institutions in this country. So the survival or sustainability of a political party is always difficult. When a given person who is the political leader not around, that party had to survive. That's the case with Movement for Economic Empowerment. So D. Maxwell Kimaya, going back to the party, as Liberty Party will reconcile their differences, more stability, style. He gave it. He's sitting in the background. He's not in the forefront to be fighting over chairmanship and who's not the chairman any longer. They did the reconciliation and then they moving ahead. I think that's what it ought to be, because too much wrangling all of the time stall progress. You will not be advancing. You'll just be one place all of the time. Political hula ballo. Oh, the legitimate chairman is Yambli Kanga Lawrence. The legitimate chairman is Musa Hassan Belete. Oh, you know how many years they took? They finally see reason now to let go and reconcile. And the position taken by Musa Belete, I think, is the right thing. Let it go. You already know in this country, you are a top person. Your name is a household name. You made a number of significant strides. Yeah. So you just leave it. Yeah. So the guys are going. The guys are leaving the majority bloc. Seriously, I'm telling you, the guys are leaving the majority bloc. The guys are leaving. Too bad. So why were they wasting time? Acting like they had a genuine cause and they were on the verge of moving the speaker. They are breaking down. People are leaving. The four individuals about to go public on why they're leaving the majority bloc. So Clarence Garden, they're just making BMO all over the place. This deputy speaker to sit and maintain his stand. And you see the mind game now? Yes, yeah? Okay. That will be doing it for that. Let's get to the comments. Let's see those of you who left your comment on the one we talk about. No, you don't want to have this read. No, it's not correct at all. What Fatu Connect said. She said, please be informed that what those guys from the majority bloc are not doing well. Are not doing well. But it will haunt them. I'm thinking about what she's trying to say. Yeah, it will haunt them and their family, because Liberia never had any bad minds of electing them. Yes, the people elected them freely. They're betraying the people. Royce Dawest said that man of God is a set up from those nonsense and rubbish guys, JMB and his fake gangsters. But the man has to cross quickly. He has to cross. He was too sure. I think he was too sure that Fonati was leaving. And that's the last thing you ever want to do as a man of God. That is, you will not discern. You will not discern. What did God say in Luke 14? He said, what kind of man will want to take a decision, will not sit down and count the cost? And you know what God meant by that? Was every decision is costly. Why costly? Because it goes with sacrifices, joy, pains, hurt, frustration, shame, guilt. So he said, before you take a decision, anything you want to do in life, anything you intend to do before, God says, sit down. Don't allow emotion to overwhelm you. Don't rush. Take your time. Sit down. Think about it. That means bring all of the options on the table. Then you weigh them before. People don't do that. They're hastening to take decision. When the atmosphere is changing, then they start feeling sorry and expect that people will have consideration on them. Least to say, a pastor. In this situation, if I were the one, I was never, ever going to say a word in this. The first thing in any leadership context, you watch. That's what James said in James 1:19. Be slow to speak, quick to hear, slow to anger. The atmosphere will do everything it can to anger you so that you will take a decision, you will move. And when you move, without considering all of the options, it affects you. You pastor, you see how it's going now? That every revolution can change anytime. That's what you need to know. Every revolution, it can fluctuate. At a certain point in time, it fluctuates. At a certain point in time, it settles. At a certain point in time, it just can't hold. Or it is successful. So when you're in it, you got to be careful. You don't hasten to condemn, to take a side. The deputy speaker is embarrassed. Thomas Fowler is embarrassed because the mind game work against him. The mind game work on him. Now the majority bloc that he was rushing to, he turned his back on Fonati Kofa. He stabbed Fonati Kofa in the back. The majority bloc cracking. They're losing strength. They're fighting now. At first, it was Fonati Kofa who was on sinking sand. But now Fonati Kofa is on a solid rock. The majority bloc is on a sinking sand. Let's see how they're going to do it. That will be doing it for that. Thank you. Let's move to the second lap of the show, and then we are out. So the U.S. government commended the Liberian government for appointing Councillor Jala Babu as head of the War and Economic Crimes Court Office in Liberia. That tells you that the setting up of the court has not died. the setting up of the War Crimes Court in Liberia to try those who committed the heinous crimes in this country, those who murder, those who I want to give you a graphic picture. Or let me say, those who cut off people's hands, open pregnant women's stomach, those who buried people alive, and on displaced thousands of people have to give account. Those who had been opposed to the War Crimes Court. I spoke with one of the persons behind this whole thing, a female, very seasoned, very highly educated. She's been in it for a very long time, several years. Very seldom you hear her. We talked today, and she's out of the country, and she said when she comes back, she will make an appearance on the imperativeness, yes, that's the word she used, the imperativeness of the court in Liberia. Can't wait to have her. So those who were opposing, and then later on the cry for justice subsided. They felt that the War Crimes Code was not coming again. And people were focused on these political issues that were happening and still happening. The War Crimes Code is still alive. And the onerous or responsibility on Joseph Yema Boakai. So Councillor Jala Babu, a renowned lawyer in this country, another lawyer who holds a master's in law and doctor in law, Jala Babu. The American government said they welcome his appointment. For the American government to welcome your appointment means they must have done their due diligence. They must have conducted their own investigation. Remember now, when Jonathan Massacre was appointed, the American government raised concern. They did not welcome it. Besides Liberians raising concerns, the American government also raised concern about his appointment. So the president was constrained to withdraw his appointment and give himself time and space to look for someone credible. And no suited person to fill that office than Councillor Jala Babu. Here is a man who is intelligent, void of what you hear and see of other people. I know that for a fact because I had the opportunity on a couple of occasions to interact with him and interview him. I think over the time, I must have interviewed him, I think about 2 or 3 times. Very receptive, quiet, but down-to-earth guy. But a man that knows the law to the death. So I don't have anything to the contrary to say of that man, but rather he is, in the wisdom of the president and the rest of the people, best suited. Great. But here's what you need to know. Councillor Jala Babu is not the judge. Most people don't know. When they hear of this, they think that the court is in full effect now or getting into full effect. The office, they say War and Economic Crimes Court Office. What that means is the office that will start the preparation, that will start laying the groundwork for the setting up of the court. That Councillor Jala Babu and his team have that responsibility. But it is not a court. That is why it is referred to as War and Economic Crimes Court Office. Office is any responsibility you got to execute. It is an office. So they are responsible. he and his team responsible to lay the groundwork, to set the foundation for the setting up of the War and Economic Crimes Code to try people on economic allegations or crimes, on war crimes, with the help of the international community. Now that the government, the Liberian government, has given its full approval to the setting up of the War and Economic Crimes Court, they are responsible for that now, as the president will call Allen White and explain to him
for a long, long time. And I wanted to thank you for the phone call. And I just wanted to ask you again, why did you want me to come over here when you?
Well, even
did you understand Allen White? He put it straight in Joseph Imabaga's face. I wanted to ask you, why did you call me here? Meaning it was Joseph Boakai, Liberian president, that called Allen White to tell him that we need to get the War and Economic Crimes Code off the ground. Boakai said in that interview, it been long, that they, meaning the country, will have to get this thing behind us. Those who kill, those who maim people, those who bury people alive, they cry for justice. Every other thing, I want you to listen carefully to the two people. Listen carefully. You will hear. Why am I saying this? Because people think that the other people are the ones who are bringing war crimes code. So, like what they did to Fonati Kofa, it was one of the things that they brought against him. When Fonati Kofa, in his interview, the first interview Fonati Kofa had when this whole thing started, he was asked that question about the war crimes code. And what did he say? He said that it was not a new thing that he had put to the floor when he took over as speaker or when he was elected as speaker. He said in his acceptance speech was the war crimes code is an unfinished business, meaning that he inherited it. He met it on the decks. So he had no option but to bring it up for implementation. Now it goes to the president. The president is the one everybody should be venting their anger against, those who don't want war crimes code, like Prince Johnson and the rest of the people. Not these guys in the legislature and other places. The president called Allen White. Allen White did not hide it. Allen White knows the situation in Liberia. So to save himself, put himself on the right track, so they can say the American government through Allen White is forcing this. So Allen White asked him, Mr. President, why did you call me here? You're listening to the conversation. Watch their voice keenly.
We've been on this journey together for a long, long time. And I wanted to thank you for the phone call. And I just wanted to ask you again, why did you want me to come over here when you?
Well, you've been a good friend of Liberia, and I don't see it just as a duty. I see it as a concern for a country that you have interest in, and you pursue that, and we believe your concerns are genuine. And so we've opened the door for us to work together. That's why we call you.
Well, Mr. President, I can't tell you how many people worldwide, when they read your speech and you talked about having an office of the War Crimes and Economic Crime Court to facilitate the creation of this tribunal, international tribunal here in Liberia to bring the justice to the people. I heard it from the U.S. My phone blew up, as you can imagine. People said I could not believe, and they were so ecstatic and elated. And since I've been here, I've heard the same thing. So I wanted to thank you again and give you full assurances that we will do everything we can to help you bring justice for the victims of those 250,000 people that were killed during the two civil wars that happened.
Well, Alan, in every country, and especially a country that boasts of independence 176 years. And you know very well that it is because of the impunity, the disrespect and disregard for justice that have created all the heroes in this country.
You're listening to the president, the Liberian president. He's stating to Alan White why the court is necessary, that it is not an option. It is compulsory. The War Crimes Court is set up in Liberia. He's stating the various conditions, the imperative conditions for the War Crimes Court. Why it is not an option, not a privilege, but rather an obligation. Listen to him carefully.
Alan, you know, in every country, and especially a country that boasts of independence 176 years, and you know very well that it is because of the impunity, the disrespect and disregard for justice that have created all the heroes in this country. And we believe we have to lay this to rest. Let all the facts be known, that people who think that they are innocent prove their case, so that we can lay this to rest, so that this country can move forward. It's not a wish hunt. It's a matter of testifying to what you know and what you've done, so that forgiveness can be done on the basis of knowledge and truth. And that's what we're talking about.
Well, you know, Mr. President, you have our full commitment to help realize that. And what we did in Sierra Leone, we were able to move the people on to the reconciliation phase. Because you're right, when people are walking around and they see impunity and they see people that have never been held to account and self-enrich themselves, it basically rubs it in the face regularly. So the fact that you are stepping up, taking this leadership role, I can tell you so far, the people of Liberia are ecstatic about it, and we're here to help you facilitate this properly, independently, and let the prosecutor follow the evidence where it goes. Not me, not you, wherever the evidence follows, and have it done under international standards, and it'll be done properly, and it'll be done transparently.
I think most of the people that have been involved know that if they were on the other side, they would like the truth to be told about it. So the truth is for each and every one that have been either offended. And so we should be happy that this will finally close the chapter of that history that has been haunting us over the years. And that's what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, I personally want to thank you for your courage to do this, because it was not easy. But you started it, and we'll help you bring justice to Liberia once and for all.
Thank you, Alan, for sticking with it. Thanks for all those who've been committed to it. We believe this is going to restore peace, and people are going to move. Even those who probably have been offended, and those who are responsible for whatever, they will know that justice was done, and their minds will be cleared. And thank you for your role.
Thank you. And thank you for your time.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Mr.
Thank
President.
you.
Thank you.
That's how the conversation went between Alan White and President Joseph Yaman Boakai. Jala Babu now will begin the preparation for the court, or how the court will be set up. it takes into consideration several things, ranging from the place to finance, the composition, who the panel of judges, all the way, too many things, and it's going to have a considerable time to be worked on. But they are responsible for the setting up. And Councillor Jalababu, I think he can do the job. Let's bring you an excerpt from Priscilla Cooper. Yeah, what she had to say today on her decision to move back to Pharaoh and leave the angels in disguise.
I'm here today to issue a brief statement to the public on the ongoing saga at the Capitol Hill. First statement by Honorable Priscilla Abraham Cooper, Representative District Number 5, Moserado County, both at 2024 I at this time. Today, I announce my decision to scale back my participation from the effort to remove Honorable Councillor J. Funati Kofa as Speaker of the 55th House of Representatives until such time when the majority members who have secured the 49 votes required to constitute a two-term majority in order to constitutionally remove him as Speaker. My initial decision to support the majority members was based on my interest in some of the clauses in the resolution, with the opportunity of giving the Speaker due process to address those concerns as enshrined in Article 49 and 28 of the 1986 Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, as well as our Rule 9.1 of the Rules and Procedures of the House of Representatives. It has been over 1 month and this procedure has not been followed. I'm disengaging myself to wait until the right procedures are followed. It is essential that we avoid engaging into anything that could have the propensity of derailing the progress of our democracy, or that which could be the cause of undermining President Breca's arrest agenda, which prioritizes reform and stability for all Liberians. I therefore call upon my colleagues, the majority members, so that we can refocus on doing the people's business in a lawful with no time to waste.
Okay, so that's it. That's except from the representative on why she withdrew from the majority bloc with the intent to remove House Speaker Funati Kofa. Let's close now with this man. Let's close with the A.B. Kroma curse. That's how I think I can describe it. A.B. Kroma's curse. He was in the government of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She dismissed him. Former President George Weah refused to allow him in his government. He rejected him. Joseph Yuma Boakai and the rescue mission come to power. He's excited that he was going to be a part, and truly he became a part, and he's dismissed. I think he needs deliverance. And if the latest dismissal or the second dismissal from government of A.B. Kroma, if it doesn't end his political career, then he's strong, and I don't know which government he's going to work in again. That tells you of how unlucky A.B. Kroma is. Ellen dismissed him. Weah refused to bring him into his government because of his unruly and ambitious conduct. Unity Party government, the government that he worked in before Bouaga brings him on, even though there were public outcry, or the public outcry was so strong and high against this man coming in government, some, if not most, of the Unity Party people opposed it. They did not favor the president bringing A.B. Nkrumah in their government because of what they saw in Ellen's government. But discussions went behind the scene. He had wanted to go to the police where he served as Deputy Police Director for Operations. Politics play into it because he and Gregory Coleman, the first term, their relationship was on and off, on and off. So the politics played there, and he couldn't go back to the police as Deputy Police Director for Operations 102. It took a while, and then his name surfaced as LDEA boss. No time had this man taken on the role of LDEA boss, we started hearing drug confiscation, arrest of foreign nationals every single day. And people were excited that yes, A.B. Nkrumah trying. I lead a man taking the drugs from the country. And we are here, kush all over the place, and spoiling our children there. A.B. Nkrumah doing well. But the drugs were still all over the place, and it's still today. A.B. Nkrumah now felt that he was the best DEA boss. He started showing that ambition. Started doing some things that he needed not to do. The first thing, the man started infusing the place. He started clouding and flooding the place with his kinsmen. Untrained people, he started bringing them into a DEA. Then he started with the